So far, we have seen the basic data types: number, string, and boolean. To store all these three data types, we need something called as an identifier, a variable what we saw before. There are some rules in defining these variables. Let's quickly get to know what are those rules. The rules are very simple. There should not be any space in between the variable name. The variable name should not start with or contain any special characters except underscore. Underscore is allowed in a variable name, and numbers are not allowed as first character in any variable name, but the numbers can be in any other place other than the first location. So these are three simple rules that we need to remember while creating a variable name. And now with this, we will get on to the next set of data types known as derived data types. We will see how to create 4 different data types and its significance in the Python programming language. So for that, I'll go to the Colab Python notebook, where I'll start creating the first data type known as the list data type. To create any list, I need to create a variable to store the list. So I can give a name called as myList equals to open and close square brackets. So this will create an empty list first of all. If I want to have some initial values in the list, then I can add my values into the list. For example, say I'm just adding 4 different values, I can just add my values into the square brackets. So to execute it, I'll give execute this play button, and my list will get created in the first place. Okay, it has got executed, and the my list has also got created in the memory. So to check the values of the list, I need to execute it within print statement so that my list gets printed in the output window as well. So now when I store this, when I execute this, I'm able to see the output in the bottom window. Right. So now we'll try some more things what we can do with this list. To access any elements of this list within square brackets, I can give an index location. Index location is something like an address of addresses present in my list. Say my list contains 4 different elements, and all these 4 elements are at different numbered addresses. Like this is the first value is present at 0th address, second value is present at first address, something like that. So by default, this index starts from 0 in Python language. So to access the first element, I can give my list within bracket 0. And to read this value, again I have to put a print statement inside that. When I execute, I can see its output in the console output here in the display window. So here to make a note of this, whenever I execute the cell, all the 3 statements execute together. It's not only the newly added line gets executed, I'm executing all the 3 lines together. So to add any new element to a list, I have to use something called as list methods. So when I keep a dot, all the available list methods are listed here. So we'll see one by one what are those list methods. The first method is called append. To add any value into the list, I can make use of append command, and inside the append, it's a function call, so we have to use curly brackets. Functions are in general an extension where a separate set of code gets executed when we call and run those functions. So here in this case, our list has some extension methods which executes the code and which reads this value and inserts into the list. So whenever we call a function, it has to be within curly brackets. So when I do this, my list gets added, and to view the elements of list, I will move the print statement below this line. So now when I see this, my value 5 has got added. So initially it creates a list with 4 elements, and in the next step I am appending a value of 5. When I print it and see, now I am able to see 5 values in this particular list. So why the previous values, the zeros, whatever I have appended is not there, is because I have reinitialized this list. I have created this new list again so that the older list has got overwritten. That is the reason it is not available. Only this execution result is present in memory. Okay. So we will see the next commands in my list. So what I will do is I will remove this list now, so that I already have my list in place, and I will change the method alone and execute every time. So here I'll give so we'll see one by one. Next I will see is the pop command. So when I execute mylist.pop, it exactly removes the last element from the list. So in this case, since I have called mylist.pop, it has removed value 5 from the current list, and then it's printing the value. When I execute it again, it is removing the last element from the previous step. So pop, every time when it is getting executed, it removes the last element from the list. That is why pop is used for. So we have seen so far creating a list, adding elements into the list, removing values from the list, and accessing elements based on its indices. We can also remove elements based on its value. Say for example, I want to remove value 1. So I can give mylist.remove value 1. So this, wherever in the list it will search for 1. If it is present, that element will be removed. So now the output only 2 is present in this list. So we have seen so far 5 methods you would have seen as of now. So I think most of my elements are actually not there, it is empty. So what I will do is I will recreate the list again with 5 different elements, so that we can see the next set of functions that is remaining to be checked. So what we have now is, after remove, there is reverse operation. The reverse simply reverses the order of this particular list. So when I execute this, my list order has actually got reversed, but it's not printed out. So what I will do is I'll put it inside the print statement again and execute it. So this time nothing is printed. The reason why nothing is printed is this list.reverse does not return any value. So whenever a print statement should be printed output, it should return a specific value into the output window. Only then it can print. So in this case, what I will do is I'll reverse it, and then I will execute the variable alone into the print statement. Now when I execute it, we can see the values of this list has got reversed. So this reverse command actually reverses all the elements and then stores into the same variable as well. So that is how this particular reverse command behaves. Now my list elements are in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in a different order. Now what I can do is list simply keeps the last value in the first place and the last before value in the second place. That is how the reverse command works. It doesn't sort by either ascending or descending order. So to achieve that, there is a command called as sort. So the default function of sort is to keep the list elements in ascending order. So when I execute this, my list elements has come in ascending order. So this is a default value for list to be sorted in ascending order. So we'll see the next the further commands. So we saw sort, reverse, remove, pop, insert. Insert we did not see, so we'll see index here. To insert any element into a specific position, we have to call 2 different values into this function. So how we will have to pass is mylist.insert, give the index position and the value. So it gives some help here. So it says l.insert index comma object. So index position is 3, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3. So in place of 4, I want to replace 9, and the 4 will be pushed further. It will not be replaced. In the place of 4, 9 will be inserted and 4 will be pushed farther ahead. So when I execute this, this is how it will behave. Like 1, 2, 3, 9 and 4 is pushed away. So in third index, the value 9 is inserted. So this stands for insert command. And the next is index. Index command returns the index of the value that is found. So if I want to check the value of 9, mylist.index of 9, I want to find the index address for value 9. So since it will return a value, I am putting it inside in a print statement and I execute it again. So here I can see mylist.index is at position 3. This is returning the index value of the current element. So similarly I can check for 4. It will say value, it is 4 because value 4 is at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that place. So this is how index behaves. Next we will see the further command. Here we will see the extend command. So in extend is used to add elements to the existing list. Like if I am going to give, for example, within square brackets, say some other values 10, 20, 30, all these 3 values will be added to the existing list. So when I extend this, okay, here I have missed a bracket, that is the reason for this error message. So it says invalid syntax for that. So I have added this bracket. Now this print statement doesn't return anything, so it is none here. There is no return value from this extend function, but whereas it has already extended. So the current list now contains 10, 20 and 30 in addition to the existing elements. Next we will see the count method. So to execute count method, it is mylist.count. Say if I want to search number of occurrences of 5, how many times 5 has occurred in the list, then I can give mylist.count of 5. This will return value 1 since 5 has occurred one number of times. So this count function returns the number of occurrences of value 5. Next, there are 2 more functions left in the whole lot of available functions. They are copy and clear. First, let me give you example for copy. So to copy a list and create one another list, say if I am going to create my list 2. The first one is my list and the copy is being done to my list of 2. When I execute this, my list of 2 has actually got created. There is no output printed in the console window. So if I am going to modify my list of 2, say I am going to remove a value from my list of 2. So I execute a pop command and then I print both the list, my list 2 and print of my list. So when I execute this, the last value from the my list 2 has got removed and the original my list remains intact. It is present wholly. It is possible because we executed a copy command in first place and copied the entire values into my list 2 so that it doesn't affect the original list. Instead, this is a safe practice. The unsafe practice is if I had simply assigned my list 2 to my list 3. Okay, I just simply assigning my list 2 to my list 3 and from my list 3 I am removing one more value. So actually 20 is being removed from my list of 3 and let's see what's happening to my list of 3 and my list of 2. So I am executing printing my list of 3 and print my list of 2. So in this case what will happen is the value will be removed from both my list 2 and my list 3. So that is why I mentioned this as an unsafe practice. Okay, so be careful while you assign values to other variables. So if you want it to be 2 separate things, use copy command. And to clear all the values from a list, I can simply call dot clear. So this will remove all the values from my list. So when I print and see, it will be totally empty. So my list dot clear, it will sorry, I did not give my list 3 here. So I'm changing this to my list 3 and then executing it. So my list is actually empty. So while during this process, even my list 2 would have got erased because it was just assigned. So you can observe this here. So these are available list functions that we have covered in this video. In the next video, we will cover the other data types. We'll go with tuple data type in the next video.